Line drive, base hit right field. Here's the game. Here's the throw. It is not in time. Bang, bang. Game over.
And welcome to an emergency episode of the Dodgers Nation post-game show where your boys in blue get the win. Their sixth walk-off win of the year. They win by a final score of 3-2. They improved to 93-57. The Dodgers have already locked up this division. They're on pace for 100 wins. This Dodgers team, after it was all said and done, could be a 100-win Dodger team. We got everything you need to know about this game. We're going to break down Ryan Pepiot's start. I thought he was very impressive once again. Gave a home run, but the swing and miss was there for strikeouts. Pepiot, he ends up going on the night 6 innings, allowed 5 hits, 1 run, 4 strikeouts, 1 walk, ended up having 12 swings and misses. So Ryan Pepiot continues to lock up that postseason role. I think there's no doubt about it. You saw tonight Caleb Ferguson, he gave up a home run there in the first inning, but that's how we are going to see it this postseason. You got to have to piecemeal it together to get these wins. JD Martinez, he continues to absolutely terrorize the Detroit Tigers. He goes 2 for 2 again, hits another home run, and then Mookie Betts, he was phenomenal. Another 3-hit game for Marcus Lynn Betts. Mookie living his Betts life with the Dodgers. He goes 3 for 5. Great jump there on the game-winning run. Great send there by Dino Ebel. He slided into home base right there. Thankfully, did not get injured. A little collision there, but still a great job. And, of course, how about this moment with Brusdar Graterol and his mom? She hadn't seen him pitch at all in his history as a major leaguer. The first time that she'd ever seen him pitch for the Dodgers was tonight. What a special moment at the Ravine.
Soft bouncing ball, left side. Muncy's there. All these years later, Mom finally getting to watch him live his dream in person. What a moment. And tears shed by both. Major leagues for the first time. Dave Roberts knew everything that it meant to him.
And what a special moment. I mean, that was very touching. He's very close with his mother from Venezuela, and to see her there watching her son at Dodger Stadium wearing that uniform in the big leagues. I mean, just a special moment. Made the hairs of my neck stand up, gave me goosebumps. Felt like I was going to start crying like Freddie Freeman in Atlanta. That's how emotional it was. Someone was chopping onions, so that was very, very touching. But let me know down below in the comment section, what is your biggest takeaway from tonight's Dodgers win? For me, it's that this team does not want to go into October wanting to flip a switch. They want to keep that momentum up. Austin Barnes said a few days ago, you want to keep that foot on the gas. You don't have to flip that switch. We saw last year they got complacent towards the end. They played 50 games against the Rockies to end the year. It was actually 6, but it felt like 50. This is a different team. There is no quit in these Dodgers. They are the never say die Dodgers. Tonight, their 6th walk-off win, and I thought it was fantastic. But here we go. We got Matty Man Doss. Thank you, God, Doug. You, the other guys drive me crazy. What guys? But Matty Man, thank you so much. Appreciate you for rocking with us. And all you guys out there, we are so close to 70,000 subscribers. We're going to give away that Mookie Betts jersey. Probably going to happen in the next couple of days, maybe even tomorrow. So if you're not subscribed, be sure to do so. Hit that notification bell. We have a long list of giveaways that we will be giving you guys all throughout the postseason, but an authentic Mookie Betts jersey, that is next. Jessica Mendoza comments, Mr. Seabad, why did it take so long for Mom to see Bazooka? Very strange. Mr. Seabad, I'm not really sure exactly, to be honest with you, but you never know. I mean, who knows really what this situation was like, but the most important thing, I'll take a large D-Mac. That's my first comment of the game right there from I Got Jams over on YouTube. You are now home with Dodgers Nation and Jim Beam. Please drink responsibly. We got Fire Friedman as always. So now it's gone from Fire Roberts to Fire Friedman. Interesting. I think Friedman has done a really good job. He's a guy that put together a roster that's going to win 100 games, but not only that, it's a team that is developing talent. You've developed James Outman this year. You've developed Bobby Miller. You've developed all these young pitchers. Tonight we saw Ryan Pepiot. We've seen guys like Michael Grove, Gavin Stone. He's gotten it together. I think you've done both things. You've won games and you've developed. And to me, it's just a house money season. I think whatever happens in the postseason, we'll take it. But if you can have a deep run with this group, it'd be magical. But I think now you know what you have in the future. And on top of that, you have one-year contracts with with Jason Hayward, with David Peralta, with a JD Martinez. So you are not beholden to those contracts. You have a lot of financial flexibility, and they have the money to sign a Shohei Ohtani. And even if they don't sign a Shohei Ohtani, they're going to make some signings this offseason. So, yeah, I think it was a fantastic offseason for Andrew Friedman. You're seeing it bear fruit, in this team, they're as good as ever. But we got Mookie, Acuna for MVP. We got Johnny Baez, who's still in his mom's basement. Hey, I don't mind you trolling. You guys know the thing about this show, and I hope that you know that, is we don't have to have the same opinion. We can have differences of opinion. I don't want an echo chamber here like a lot of shows do. Okay, if we can argue about things, and I think it makes for good content here. Giants are sweeping the Dodgers from M. Billy. Hey, we'll see about that. We got a DMAC walk-off shoey is in order for tonight. Look, the problem is I don't have any beer on me right now. I promise, like, the next live show, I'll do a shoey for you, Mr. Seabat. I promise you. Justin Lamas, what are your thoughts about future Dodgers Ohtani getting elbow surgery today? Look, I think that from what I hear, he's someone who just wants to go through the process. He doesn't want to rush the rehab process. So getting that surgery today made the most sense. We knew he was going to miss the entire 2024 season as a pitcher, but hey, he can still compete, right? And he can still find a way to get back on the mound. And you guys know how I feel, is that when he does return, maybe he comes back like a John Smoltz, who led the league in saves, and then he transitioned back to being a starting pitcher. So I still firmly believe that he still is going to be able to provide value as a pitcher whenever he does return. I still think he's going to be throwing 100 miles per hour with the nasty splitter. I think you're going to see him use that sweeper as well. So I would not rule out Shohei Ohtani as a pitcher in the future. And this organization, the Dodgers, is a perfect fit because they're patient with pitchers. Look at Walker Buehler. They didn't rush him back. They said, no, we're going to make the best decision, not only for us as an organization, but for you as a player. Then you look at Dustin May. You look at Tony Gonsolin. You look at plenty of guys up and down this roster. They know how to handle this situation. I think that's something I would strongly consider if I was Shohei Ohtani. Carnivorous Lunar Activity. What up, my guy? How you doing, my man? He said F Smoltz. You don't like Smoltz. You don't like Smoltzy. Hot take. I don't think Joe Buck's that bad. I'm just going to throw it out there. Okay. Rod Wells, Giants praying they get into the postseason. Rod Wells, I would love to see it. I mean, it's a great matchup. I love the fact that we can tell Giants fans that the one time we did meet in the postseason in this format, we are undefeated. So if it happens again, it'd be tense. I don't think it would have the same juice as a few years ago in 2021, because that Giants team finished with 107 wins and they snapped the Dodgers division winning streak. Now we're back on track. There was that one blip. There was that one glitch in the Matrix back in 2021. But hey, this is the Dodgers division. The NL West is the Dodgers and the rest. Okay, we know that at this point they dominate this division. But Justin Lamas, hey Doug, if this team's odds adds Ohtani, what other moves can we make to build around him? Good question. I think that at some point you're going to see this team use that treasure trove of prospects. They have a surplus of starters, a surplus of pitching talent that I think you'll see flip for certain players that they can improve this roster. And that's why this farm system is designed for that. This farm system, they're the Amazon of farm systems. You have everything there. You want pitching, you want position players, you want to have money sent this direction that the Dodgers can absorb. They can do that. As far as moves specifically, we'll see if Arenado becomes available and they want to address that. We'll see if another starting pitcher becomes available. But I mean, with Corbin Burns, he's going to have one more year on his contract. Do they want a short-term guy? Do you want to try to improve? I think shortstop, they're going to lock up Gavin Lux. He's going to get the runway there. First base, we know that that's locked up by Freddie Freeman. So the Mookie Betts, of course, is someone who's going to play some second. He's going to play the outfield. So I think they're going to try to see what they can do in the free agent market, see who they can get, because you could just be a buyer. You don't have to make a trade there. You don't have to give up any assets. So it's going to be very interesting. But smash that like button for DMAC. What up, Diane Schroeder? Matt Chapman signing? No, I'm not in on a Matt Chapman signing for a couple of different reasons. One, I think you look at his injury history, he's been banged up. I think he's a Scott Boras client. So the reality, when you look at WAR totals, right, what you're getting, that's something where, yeah, he's definitely one of the better defensive first basemen. There's no doubt about that. But for me, doesn't feel like he's going to check off a lot of boxes as far as who the Dodgers want to add. Look, he's 30. I mean, offensively, I mean, you're talking about a 3.3 F/WAR season for Matt Chapman. This guy is looking for a massive payday, 15 home runs. I mean, defensively, he's definitely really good. Is he going to decline a little bit because he's north of 30? He probably will to an extent. But to me, I think that that's not a direction I would want to go if I was the Dodgers. I think there's other positions that I would explore. And look, the reality is that if you bring in a Shohei Ohtani next season, he's going to be your DH. Max Muncy, they're not going to. Where do you play Max Muncy? I mean, he's range-wise with the restricted shift. You throw him at second base. I don't know if that's the move. Third base, you might just live with his defense that has its ups and downs. I think if you dive into some of the more advanced metrics, it doesn't look as bad as the eye test tells you. And look, the reality is that there are 29 other teams out in Major League Baseball where if you could get Max Muncy's offensive production, you will live with what he does defensively. Now, Max Muncy is essentially a DH playing third base. There's no doubt about that. But yeah, I just don't anticipate the Dodgers making a deal with a Scott Boras client and a Matt Chapman that's a player that's north of 30. I just don't think that's something that is realistic. But let's dive into this game. By the way, do you think Miggy Vargas? So that's a great point. I just was going to say that right now. Joe says, "Hey Doug, what about signing JD again, please?" Joe, that's going to really come down to, do they get Shohei Ohtani? If Shohei Ohtani signs with the Mariners, the Giants, whatever team, right? Goes to the East Coast, the Cubs, the Mets, who knows, right? I've heard from sources that the Mets still think that they're a player, so I would not rule out the New York Mets, but I would say when it comes to JD Martinez, that's what it hinges on. Because, look, the reality is that, yeah, the Dodgers are a great organization. Andrew Friedman is one of the best in the business. But if the Dodgers hitting coach isn't Robert Van Scoyoc and Mookie Betts isn't a Dodger, JD Martinez would not have signed with his club on a one-year, $10 million deal. I can tell you, he had deals out there, multi-year offers were on the table for JD Martinez. Instead, he wanted to bet on himself and put himself in a position to get another payday. And I think that's exactly what he's going to do. Now, I think he's dealt with some injury issues, but otherwise, he's been absolutely fantastic. Got a super chat here from John Bleed Blue. Appreciate you on that. Mookie Pepio Muncy, the dog of the day. By the way, let me know down below in the comment section. I want everyone who's watching this, because I'm going to go down the board, read everyone here. Who is your Dodger dog of the day? Because you could go with Mookie, goes 3 for 5. Not the player. Who showed the most dog? Which Dodger had the most dog? I think, look, this is a tough one. I think Pepio was out there battling. I thought Brusdar, Graterol, he was crying like a dog, right? I mean, I think Brusdar, what a touching moment there to pitch with all those emotions. I'm going to get Brusdar Graterol my Dodger dog of the game. How about that?
Dodger dog of the game.
Justin Lamas says Max Muncy, Dodger dog of the game. Jake Bogner says Pepio. Caleb Figueroa says Pepio. Chop says Graterol. Craig Osterberg says Chris Taylor. Yeah, I think Chris Taylor tonight, he ends up going... Oh, he stole that base as the pinch runner there after that JD Martinez single. So we're going to break down this game. Ronald Acuna is my dog of the day. John Blaze, hey, Braves territory. We welcome everyone here, okay? Pepio, Myria Jones, that's your Dodge dog of the day. Roy Estrada says Queen. I think Vezia had that dog in him tonight. That's from Georgia. Yeah, you got to give Vezia a lot of credit. I know that this chat tends to be tough on him. I know that Dodgers social media, as far as the Dodgers Twitterverse, tends to ride on Vesia when he does not perform well. But you got to give him credit today, going in there in a tie ball game in the 9th inning. He was able to get the job done. I thought the strikeout to Lipkiss, that four-seam fastball on the edge, that's exactly how he has to attack hitters. You didn't see as many misses, but the attack plan when he has his four-seam fastball, is going that hard stuff, he definitely can be effective with it. Got Nevin to pop out on that four-seam fastball on the edge. So the key for Alex Vesia is simply replicating his mechanics, staying consistent with his mechanics, and just hitting his spots, avoiding the heart of the plate, and he can go out there and he can be effective. But how about Ferguson? Yeah, we'll talk about Ferguson because tonight, like I said, some people say, okay, these games are meaningless because they've already clinched. They're probably not going to catch the Braves or whatever it may be. By the way, the Braves, it's not totally... The Braves kind of got smacked. Hey, what happened? My Braves guy. Your Braves got smacked by the Miami Marlins. What was up with that? But hey, the Braves, Dodgers, as it stands right now, if you look at where the Braves are in the National League compared to the Dodgers, Dodgers 3.5 games back. 3.5 games back. We've seen crazier things happen, right? We've seen some crazy stuff happen in the history of this sport. So who knows? I mean, you look at it right now, you got 12 games left, 3.5 games back. So, hey, objects in rear appear closer than they appear. Do you think Miggy Vargas will get a shot next year? So, to finish my point earlier on third base next year, I think that is what they're going to do. Miguel Vargas is a guy that's played over 300 games at third base at the minor league level. That is where he has the most experience. I've heard from people, kind of my sources around the minor league level, he doesn't love playing third base. He doesn't love the hot shots at the hot corner. But I think for him to have a role on this team next season, I think you might see a situation where you get some platooning with Muncy and Miguel Vargas, because Muncy, he has struggled against lefties this season. He's had some pretty nice balance splits throughout his career, but maybe that's something that they consider, and you try to break him in that way. So that's very interesting. Or we'll see if they try to deal Miguel Vargas in the offseason if they want to try to upgrade. I would not rule out an Arenado trade if he wants to try to force his way on the Dodgers. I mean, I think that it's probably not very likely, but I wouldn't say it's impossible. I think you're not going to probably see the Cardinals shake hands with the enemy, the Dodgers, very often, but that's something that could be interesting if they want to try to rebuild. I still think they have some pieces, of course, with Goldie and Arenado, but still I think the Dodgers have a lot of prospects that they could get a deal done. So I think the Dodgers are going to make some form of splash this offseason. If they don't sign Ohtani, they'll try to make a big trade. If they don't make a big trade, you'll try to go after some big free. Oh, my gosh. Mitchell Hopkins says, my wife just added you to her hall pass DMAC. You're getting a bruh. You're getting a two bruhs. We got Hayden Magnum. Doug, do you think we could sign Yamamoto and Ohtani? Hayden, look, I mean, look, all you really need to know is that they need pitching. They need some veteran pitching. I think they do have a belief in some of these young guys, but let's see how it plays out in the postseason. That guy said, even if they don't go deep in this postseason, I do firmly believe that these guys are auditioning for next year. Whatever the outcome is, if Pepio performs well, if Emmett Sheehan performs well, I think we know no matter what, Bobby Miller is going to be one of the top two guys pitching next season. We don't know if Clayton Kershaw is going to be back. We don't know who else they're going to try to sign the offseason. But I think that if you are going to really pivot toward this youth movement, you got Walker back, you got Buehler back, Pepio, Sheehan, Gavin Stone has made strides this offseason. Last offseason, heading in this year, got off to a rocky start. Then towards the end, he's really picked it up, and he's been more effective. You've seen more swing and miss. You've seen the command of that fastball, and the changeup has been more effective. So, yeah, I mean, I think there is a universe where Yamamoto fits into that if they think it makes sense, but I think it really boils down to Plan A is Shohei Ohtani, right? And the Dodgers, they usually get their plan A. They usually find a way to get their plan A in most cases, and even when they don't, it turns out to be a good thing, right? They dodged a bullet in Anthony Rendon. I think they kind of dodged a bullet in a Garrett Cole when we look at $324 million. Of course, they've had their misses too. Trevor Bauer didn't work out. We know that Noah Syndergaard, he didn't work out, right? So Trevor Bauer, of course, the situation was complicated. He was effective when he was on the mound, but yeah, unfortunately, at the end of the day, he wasn't able to pitch for this team based on everything that transpired. So yeah, they're not batting 1,000, but for the most part, Mookie Betts is a move that they had in place for quite some time, and they were able to trade for him and sign him. Freddie Freeman fell into their lap. So it'll be very interesting. But, yeah, we're going to talk about this game, too, in a second here, because there's some things from this game that I think you need to know based on how the postseason is going to unfold. I think when you saw tonight, Caleb Ferguson, I think, is going to make this roster. I think there's no doubt about that, and I think you will see him used as an opener. I definitely think that he's someone that really, really needs to continue to work, continue to gain the trust of his coaches. And then Alex Vezia did not have a good weekend, gave those 2 hits, did not look good against Seattle. Tonight he looked much better. Is he going to be on there in the end? Will they go with a Kyle Hurt? I think that is the big question right now. But the Dodgers organization has a futuristic view. That's from Mario. Yeah, exactly. I mean, they're always looking. That's a fire take over there from Mario Landaverde over on YouTube. Want to get your name right? IB Stroking. What up, my guy? Always rocking with us. Anthony Hollywood Lifestyle Rendon. zone, that's a finish him. Any trash talk, any burns, those are always welcome. But here we go. Snell, Fool's Gold, Hepatitis, see you later. Yeah, I don't anticipate them signing Snell. By the way, we're in the offseason. We're going to introduce a new show. We're going to be going live talking about all trade rumors a few nights a week. So I'll keep you guys posted on that. D-Mac needs a cameo in Adam Sandler's next movie. I would love that. I have a funny Adam Sandler story. Maybe I'll tell you guys some other time from back in the day. Does it look like Gavin Lux is going to be the starting shortstop next season? That's from Max JP. 100% that's the plan. That Gavin Lux is going to be fully healthy. He's young enough. We've seen these ACL injuries, these LCL, anytime this knee has to be reconstructed, that you can get back to full strength. So that definitely is the plan right now, and hopefully he's someone that turns out to be the long-term shortstop of the Dodgers. I think that is the number one thing moving forward. That's one of the top 5 storylines heading into next year, in my opinion, is can they find their long-term shortstop in Gavin Lux? Because if that's the case, that's someone who's under team control until 2027. And if you can hit on a shortstop and you don't have to pour money into that position, pour trade assets into finding a shortstop, hey, that would be big, because this organization has told you over the last few seasons that they want a marquee shortstop. They were in trade talks for Francisco Lindor, right? You had Corey Seager, who still one of the best hitting shortstops in the game, probably the best as of right now. They traded for Trey Turner, right? So they've wanted a marquee player at that position, and if Gavin Lux can grow into that, it would be big, because then you can use that money to get a starting pitcher to really address other needs on this team. But Dodgers are going to do a lot of mix and match pitching in the postseason. Diane Schroeder, absolutely, that's a fire take, because it's 100% true. I think the only pitcher that you're going to see get traditional starts is most likely Bobby Miller. Bobby Miller is someone that if he's efficient enough and he's hitting his spots, that change up down the zone, you see him use that curveball as his best put away pitch. Go with that cutter. Go with that four-seam fastball early in the count, getting ahead, kind of taking a little off the velocity to be able to command it better. Then I think you could probably see him go 6, possibly 7 innings if everything goes well, but you're not going to want to see him facing the lineup 3-4 times, right? You want to see him be efficient, try to go deep into games, but other than that, it's going to be very unorthodox. You are going to see openers. You are going to see, I think the combination that I'm most excited about now is Clayton Kershaw and Emmett Sheehan. I mean, you look at those contrasting styles there with that explosive four-seam fastball of Emmett Sheehan, change up down the zone, working those secondary pitches. Clayton Kershaw, as long as he has just a modicum of command, he's going to be effective. Some guys, when you've truly mastered your craft, they just find a way to get it done. You have to just completely throw out the numbers, throw out the expected numbers. It's the X grit, right? The X dog. And we know that Clayton Kershaw is going to go out there and give it his best effort. So you're going to see some of that. I think you're going to see Ryan Yarbrough in some piggyback starts. I think Lance Lynn looked a lot better in his last start. I was encouraged by that. Definitely had that one inning get away from him, but still, I think you're seeing him pitch better of late. The efficiency is closer to where it was when he was traded here. You're seeing him avoid the heart of the plate. So, yeah, you're going to see some really interesting stuff. And I think the good thing here, the interesting thing to me, is that I think you look at this bullpen right now and you look at the trust tree, right? Dave Roberts calls it the trust tree. And who's on that trust tree for the relievers? Well, undoubtedly, it's Evan Phillips, right? He's the top dog in the food chain. Then you got Brusdar Graterol having his best year as a reliever, results-wise, ERA under 2. I think Joe Kelly, when it comes to, quote, big boy stuff, and that's what Andrew Friedman called what some of these young pitchers have, he absolutely has that in spades. You're talking about a guy who's throwing harder than he's ever thrown, 99 miles per hour, missing more bats than he ever has. He's someone that has experience in the postseason. We know they're going to give him the nod in that situation. And then you got a Ryan Brazier, who's been great all year. Shelby Miller, who's been great all year. Those 5 guys, those are my traditional type relievers. They're high leverage guys that you can trust. They're going to go 1 inning, right? But outside of that, these young guys have all shown. Ryan Pepio to Ryan Yarbrough to all across this board. Gavin Stone, if he gets an opportunity. Kyle Hurt. I mean, you're talking about a lot of guys that can go multiple innings, and I think that's going to be to the Dodgers' favor because you have 8 guys that can be flexible. You have the swingman type, right? You have guys that go 3 innings, multiple innings, or they could make a start but only start 3 or 4 innings, and you can mix and match. I'm telling you, it's got to be like tag team wrestling. You do your damage, you rock bottom, stone cold stunner, and you slap someone else in. Boom, they pick up where you left off, and you got to get this job done. Look, either way, you got to find a way to get those 27 outs. And now I think they're in a situation where they have a versatile pitching staff that allows them different looks. Younger guys throwing the heat, throwing the velocity. Older guys have more experience, more grit, might be better in that situation because they have that experience. But either way, the Dodgers are going to see, hey, okay, let's go let this guy go 5-6, 5-6, 5-6, when really success in the postseason has increasingly become a bullpen game. But Snell will command over $2 million. Just, I think that's on the high end, but I agree that no pitcher has really increased their stock as much as Blake Snell this year. And then you add the fact that Julio Urias is gone, right? So in addition to that, really, he's someone that's going to benefit from being that lefty. D-Mac, cheers, brother. What up, James Bostrom over on YouTube? I hope I'm saying your names right. Hayward should bat 4 from Craig Osterberg. Interesting. I mean, you look at Hayward, he's had success batting up in the lineup, but I think that he's in a good spot where he is. I mean, today you saw Jason Hayward almost hit another dinger, which is pretty wild when you consider he hit 1 last year. He's already hit 15 this year. But, yeah, Jason Hayward is someone that almost hit a bomb tonight, just hit the warning track. But, yeah, he's someone that's been really, really good for this Dodgers team. I wouldn't bat him 4th. I think this lineup, you're pretty much set in stone, right? You got Mookie Betts at the top. You got Freddie Freeman. That's the two-headed monster. That's the Kobe and Shaq of Dodger baseball right there at the top. That's not going to change. Last year, of course, Trey Turner complicated matters, right? Because you put Trey second, you had Freddie Freeman batting 3rd there in the NLDS. But the 3rd spot, I think Will Smith, yes, he's had his downs in the postseason, but I think the fact that, by the way, he got hit tonight, that definitely scared me a little bit. But the fact that he's had his success in big moments, the 5-hit game against the Padres, the 3-run shot in Game 5 of the NLCS when the Dodgers were down 3-1 facing elimination, where Will Smith beat Will Smith, and he hits the ball hard. So I think for sure Will Smith 3rd, right? Or J.D. Martinez and Max Muncy. It's some combination of Will Smith, J.D. Martinez, and Max Muncy in that 3, 4, and 5 spot. That is not going to change. I guarantee you that. But here we go. So glad we didn't overpay for the available shortstops this past offseason. Dre, yeah, you said it best. I mean, you talk about Carlos Correa, who signed that big contract, right? But he wasn't able to pass that physical, right? It was like a game of operation. And like I said, Carlos Correa is a great player for a guy who has 1 leg, apparently, based on the medicals. But I agree with you. I mean, I don't think that Dansby Swanson is someone who moves the needle for me, right? Xander Bogaerts, offensively, he's regressed this season. So I think you bring up a really good point there, and that the Dodgers, they made the best move in just trying to stand pat and not go out there and sign a shortstop. And they had full faith that Gavin Lux was going to be really good. But, yeah, you look at Xander Bogaerts, not having a bad year by any means, but batting average has gone from 307 to 279. Weighted runs created plus has gone from 133 to 119. So, yeah, he's not having himself a fantastic year. Not an awful year by any stretch, but not a game-changing year, in my opinion. I mean, a 4 F-WAR season. Then you look at a Dansby Swanson, who I warned everyone was going to offensively come down to earth. And you look at Dansby Swanson's numbers. He's a high strikeout guy, still hits home runs, but he's hitting 249 this year. That's down. And his batting average, his weighted runs created plus is 105. So he's 5% above league average. So, yeah, a lot of people clamoring to sign a shortstop last year, and the Dodgers absolutely made the right decision with that. But go Dodgers, go Niners. Oh, my bad. Niners represent San Fran. Ray Brios. Hey, your teams are your teams. If you're a Niner fan, go for it. Who's blaming you? LA didn't have a team for like 20 years. The Rams from 1980 to 1994 playing Anaheim, right? So, hey, your team is your team, and respect that, just as long as you root for them, man. Fair enough. Help. You got Ohtani got repair with internal brace. 96% of pitchers return at same or higher level of competition. That's from Blaine Tang. That's a fire take. Jonah Bass, how high are Dodgers on Snell if they go for a show? Ohtani. I mean, we've seen this Dodger team kind of avoid signing pitchers in that tier. I think what makes it interesting is the fact that Andrew Friedman was with the Rays when they drafted him back in 2011 out of Washington. Yo, where can I order a Dodgers Nation hat? I'll keep you guys posted on that. I'm working on it. These are actually all custom ones that we've made. But D-Mac, cheers, brother. Consider it smash. Thanks, IB Stroking. Great win, D-Mac. What up, David Sabatini? Rocking with us from New York. So, yeah, let's talk a little more about this game. Break it down so you know everything that happened in this one. So, really, this game came down to a bullpen that really was phenomenal, a starting pitching staff that did a really, really nice job keeping this team at bay here. And you win a tight one. You win 3-2, and Muncy's extends his winning streak to 9 games. So a 9-game hitting streak for Max Muncy. He gets that walk-off win there, and he extends that hitting streak to 10. And, yeah, that gives the Dodgers an opportunity to do for their second straight sweep. They've won 5 games in a row. And, yeah, it was a low-scoring game. Ryan Pepiot, he was just really dominant. I mean, I thought he was fantastic out there. Caleb Ferguson, he allowed that solo shot there in the first inning. And, yeah, that's something you want to avoid. I think with Caleb Ferguson, if he's going to really settle into that opener role that I think they're going to have for him on that home run to Torkelson, you got to finish off hitters. He had him at a 2-2 count, 5th pitch. He fouled off that four-seam fastball. And then on the 6th pitch, they go with the cutter. They just caught too much of the plate. That put the Tigers up 1-0 in that one. So, yeah, I mean, that's something that he's going to have to work on, and I think the sequencing has to be a little better too. But, yeah, really nice job there from Mr. Ryan Pepiot. I mean, he retired 13 of the first 15 batters he faced, and really the only negative tonight was he gave that home run to Parker Meadows in the 3rd, and that, at the time, that gave Detroit a 2-1 lead. So, I mean, you're talking about someone who retires 13 of 15 hitters, not a lot of run support, and he comes out there in the 7th inning with the Dodgers down 2-1, and they were able to come back. So, yeah, let's dive a little more. So, 4th inning down to Pepiot. Torkelson gives that home run. Then the 1-2 pitch, he gets Carpenter swinging on a nasty changeup with that run, gets the strike, and the tunneling's fantastic for Ryan Pepiot. It looks like a fastball on the release and then just falls off the table there. Then bottom of the 4th inning, J.D. Martinez, he goes deep for another home run, another bomb for J.D. Martinez. And, yeah, great pitch. They try to go inside on him. He's able to get that barrel to it. He stays in. He drives it. And a couple things I want to say about J.D. Martinez is J.D. Martinez, had he been healthy this entire season, we're talking about someone who's on pace for over 40 home runs. We're talking about someone who's on pace for over 100 RBI. We're talking about a team that realistically could have 3 players in the top 6 in MVP voting. So J.D. Martinez, he's been on a tear of late, and he's trying to get paid, man. He's trying to get another big contract before he hangs him up. And tonight, he raised his batting average at 270, on base to 324. He's slugging 566 with a weighted runs created plus of 135. He had his 29th home run of the year for your Dodgers, his 92nd RBI. So J.D. Martinez, he's been fantastic. And then 5th inning, Cabrera, I want to point out this defensive play because I thought this was outstanding by Miggy Rojas. Cabrera, he had a ground ball to Rojas. He made a great diving stop. He throws out Cabrera, and he did a fantastic job. And you saw Freddie Freeman, made a great job catching a ball from Verling down in the foul territory there, getting him back for the previous inning. So nice job, nice defense tonight from Freddie Freeman and Miguel Rojas. And then top of the 6th inning, Freddie Freeman made a great catch in foul territory, like we said. And then 2 outs, Jay Hay just missed that 2-run home run, jumped to the top of the 7th. Runners in the corners, nobody out. And they try to lay down that safety squeeze there, and they get the runner at the plate. So this is a really nice job by Ryan Pepiot to get out of that jam. They know the runners on the corners, they get Verling to fly out. So Detroit had opportunity to really put some runs across and get on top of Ryan Pepiot, but they did a really nice job working themselves out of that jam. And then bottom of the 7th inning, the following frame right there, James Alman, he runs on infield single. Ty goes to the runner there. They challenged it, but they ruled that he was saved. and then 2-2, 1 out, 1 on, and then Mookie singles to second. So he had runners on first and second with 1 out, and then Freddie ground into a 4-6-3 double play. And then top of the 8th inning, Brusdar, Graterol in the game. 1-2 to McKinstry. He flies to left. Next batter, Torkelson. He flies to left. Nice play there by David Peralta. Great read. Great jump on that ball. And 3-1 to Jake Rogers. 2 outs. Muncy makes a nice play. So he puts his hands up towards his mom. You saw the emotions flowing. Let's take a look at that one more time by Mr. Brusdar Graterol.
Soft bouncing ball, left side. Muncy's there. All these years later, Mom finally getting to watch him live his dream in person. What a moment. And tears shed by both.
Special moment right there. Then bottom of the 8th inning, JD Martinez, he singles to left. Chris Taylor pinch runs for him. He steals second. And then Peralta, he drops one down the line that spins to the seats. He was 1 for 4 in the night. That was probably his when it comes to exit velocity, the less velo of all night. I mean, it was a ball that he hit the weakest, that tied at 2, and then Alma hit a rocket and goes as an out. So David Peralta, great job, a professional at bat, and he ties it up. Great job by Dave Roberts to get Chris Taylor in there as a pinch runner. And then top of the 9th inning, we talked about that. Alex Vesia, he does his job. He goes 1-2-3. And then bottom of the 9th inning, 1 out, 2-1. Mookie, he gets his 3rd hit of the night. And then next batter, Freddie Freeman, 1-0 count. He flies out for the 2nd out. And then they hit Will Smith. Give the Dodgers runners on first and second with 2 outs. And then 1-2 pitch. Muncy, he singles to left. And there we go. He crushed it. Mookie scores from second. I love this send. Mookie on his horse. He slides in. Dodgers get their 6th walk-off win of the year. Another special night at the Ravine. So let's jump back in the comments here, guys, and then we'll get you out of here. But what a win for your Dodgers, man. This team is special. Do you guys feel that, or is that just me? Do you feel like this team is different from last year? Me, I feel like last year, lots of wins. I feel like they're the Chat GPT Dodgers. I didn't feel like Hanser Alberto's. It kind of felt like it was kind of like the weekday, almost like it felt a little contrived, felt a little forced. I feel like this team genuinely has a very intense bond with each other, and I think that this team is really primed and poised to have a deep postseason run. It feels like we have a special postseason in front of us. But Ken Ohtani pitched with his left arm. That's an absolute comment of the night from Plantain over on YouTube. Should left field be upgraded instead Peralta next year, Max JP? I think they definitely I think you're definitely going to explore some outfielders for sure. Of course, you still have Chris Taylor under contract, and he'll be going to his 3rd year, that 4-year, $60 million deal. But, yeah, the outfield is a place where you could add some thump, right? If you want some power, that's a position where, the outfield is a great place to address at the trade deadline. Shortstop, you're probably looking at 10 guys in the league that are above average offensively. Outfield, you're looking at probably 60, right? So, yeah, I definitely think that that's a place where you could look at. I mean, Michael Busch, he's been playing some outfield too. He just won Baseball America Dodgers Minor League Player of the Year, so we'll see what they do with him in the offseason, but it's going to be very interesting. Doug, we got Georgie. Doug, who do you think makes the last 2 NL wildcard spots? That's tough, man. That is definitely tough. I think it's going to be a battle. I think I want to say, though, I know some people don't like it. I love the 3rd wild card. I truly do, because at this point of the season, especially when football starts and you got teams that lock up the division like the Braves and the Dodgers, it gives you something else to look for. It gives you a reason to tune into some of these other teams, and it's a battle. I think Chicago is right there. Arizona, Philly, I think is essentially the lock. They're 3 games up of Arizona. So you got Philly, Arizona, Chicago, and then you got Miami, who just dominated the Braves in that series. The Giants, they have a lot riding on this series, so the Dodgers, they could end their season. They could turn Oracle into Spirit Hollywood, a Spirit Halloween superstore once again like they did last year. But yeah, I mean, the Padres, they're 5.5 games out. I think if I had to pick right now, man, this is pretty tough. If you look at the strength of the schedule, I mean, Miami, man, that's going to be tough. I really feel like Miami's kind of got the magic right now. The Cubs, they've been in it for a while. They've been the better team as far as run differential. I feel like Arizona, man, they had such a hot start. They were on top of this division for a good amount of time into the summer. I think the Dodgers are going to bury the Giants. So I think it really comes down to Cincinnati, Miami, Chicago, and Arizona. Philly's the lock. Man, this is tough. I'm going to go. I think Chicago finds a way to make it, man. I feel like Chicago, Philly, and let's go Miami Marlins, man. Let's go the Fish, just because they're dangerous. Every time they make it as a wild card team, say for 2020, they've won that World Series. So, yeah, give me the Fish. Who do you guys got, though? Who are your last 2 wild card teams? Yes, Mario, more power to you, bro. What up, Mario? Thanks for drinking that H2O on the mic. Oh, did I? Sorry, man. Yeah, I don't know why, man. I had some, I don't know what I ate earlier, but I'm like super thirsty. Dodgers, Rams, Lakers. What up, David Sabatini? Good to see some real Rams fans in the chat. Ray Brios, Dodgers, Rams, Clippers. I like how everyone's dropping it. Drop your NFL team. Horns up, Roman Gabriel. We got hello, Mickey. Mickey Rojas is perfect. You said Mickey, but I fixed it for you. Mickey Rojas is perfect for the Dodgers. He plays great D, and his hitting is getting better. Plus, he has a great heart. All those things are true. That's a fire take. Absolutely. Miguel Rojas, this guy is gritty. This guy has a voice in that clubhouse. He's as respected as anyone in that clubhouse. His shoe game is elite. I love the story I heard. I think it was Joe Davis or Jessica Mendoza that was talking. No, it was actually Kirsten Watson, I believe, who said that he'll wear any size. If it's a size 12, he'll put on an extra pair of socks. If it's a size 10, he'll wear a thin pair of socks. But, yeah, I mean, you see him wearing Kike's cleats at the moment. And, look, defensively, he's looked the part. He has been legit. He has been as advertised defensively, and you got to give him credit for it. I mean, he's someone that has been really fantastic, and he's 34, right? I mean, that's usually a position where you hit that age and you start to decline when it comes to overall range. And with the restricted shift, look, having a glove for a shortstop with that restricted shift, it made a ton of sense. And he's in the 90th percentile in outs above average when it comes to range. So he's been fantastic. He really has. Doesn't strike out a ton. Doesn't swing and miss a ton. It's just real kind of soft contact. But over the last month, since September 1st, I mean, he has an OPS of almost 1,000. He's in 356. So he's really turned it up to end the year. He's gone 16 for 45, 2 home runs, a double and a triple. So, yeah, give a lot of credit to Miguel Rojas, man. Tip of the cap, man. I'm just so impressed. I'll flat out say I love watching him play shortstop. It's an absolute pleasure to watch. We got Acuna, leads bets in all categories. JK, what do you mean by that? What do you mean by all categories? What are you talking about? I'm serious. Like, what do you mean all categories? Let me look for your comment here, because that's just not true. I mean, that just isn't true. I mean, weighted runs created plus, Mookie, 170, 168. Home runs, Mookie, 39, Acuna, 37. RBI, Mookie, 103, Acuna, 98. Stolen bases, when the rules were changed to encourage stolen bases, yeah, Acuna has him. The reality is, if this was last year, Mookie would be the runaway MVP. That's what I'm saying. I think you got to put an asterisk on this MVP. I hate to say that. I hate to be that guy, but that's just how I feel in my heart of hearts. We got fingers crossed for Hep. We got Alana Rizzo I'm having Alana Rizzo on my show pretty soon, by the way. If you have any questions I'm going to ask her, let me know. $1 from Mario. Appreciate you over there. $4.99 from Nicholas. Super chat. Great chemistry. Gritty vets. Great chemistry plus gritty vets plus hungry rooks will equal a memorable playoff run this year. Amen, brother. Comment of the game. We'll beat the Whiners in the playoff. I like how you guys like football back. D-Mac. Oh, what up, Ricardo Sandoval, my buddy. Hey, Ricardo, you're the man. Appreciate you rocking with us here on the Dodgers Nation postgame show. Do you have the most memorable game or series this year? My personal one, I was in attendance. I was in the press box there. And to me, it was the Gavin Stone debut that he struggled, but they found a way to hit the grand slam, Max Muncy grand slam off of Craig Kimbrell early in the season. That was great. I love to see I think Mookie getting that home run off Hader early on the season in the 9th inning to tie it, and the Dodgers winning extras. To me, that was right up there with my favorite moment of the season, because I do feel like we really ended the Padres there. Yeah, I mean, this season really has been filled with a lot of moments. I mean, I think tonight, Brusdar Graterol, the moment he had with his mom, I mean, hey, that was special. That was special for sure. My eyes were sweating a little bit on that one. But what was your guys' favorite moment of the year so far? But definitely some great moments. And the walk-offs have been great. I think The comeback wins have been really great. I think this team is just kind of built different. I mean, you've seen all these. I was in attendance for the worst loss they've had at Dodger Stadium history when they lost 15-0. So, yeah, this year has been really, really special for this Dodgers team. And, yeah, Max Muncy gave the Dodgers their first walk-off since July 25th tonight. And it's the 38th comeback win of the season for your Dodgers. So 38 comeback wins this season. This team is clutch. They're great at hitting with 2 outs. And we've seen that on and on. And I think, too, I love in July when James Outman hit that walk-off there against the Blue Jays in the 9th. I mean, that was a great comeback win. Yeah, I'm probably going to have to do like my top 10 moments of the season so far, but we're not done yet, so we still have some great moments to go. But, yeah, give me your favorite moment of the season so far, though. We got James. What up, James? We got Philly, Miami. This is Justin Lamas, Philly, Miami, Arizona. Okay, so we're pretty close. You have Arizona instead of Chicago. I personally just kind of want to see the Chicago Cubs in there because it's always good for baseball. I think Wrigley Field is a special, special place. D-backs and Cubs from Jake Bogner. Do you think we can jump over the Braves for home field advantage? Like I said, 12 games to play, 3.5 games back. It's going to be difficult, but I do think the Dodgers are going to want to finish strong. They're going to want to continue to play their best baseball heading into the postseason. They're not going to want to take their foot off the gas. They know they can't flip a switch, and it'll be very interesting to see what they do against this Giants team because we know they're going to want to end their season, right? Manager of the Year, Dave Roberts from James. Yeah, definitely smash that like button for your Dodgers. Max JP, D-Mac, you ate a big Dodger win earlier that made you thirsty.
Fire take.
You just finished me, so I'll finish myself. D-Mac is... Oh, thanks, Craig. Appreciate you on that one, man. Nick Bosa's him. Yeah, he's fantastic. 5 pressures. Mitchell Hopkins. D-Mac, please tell me that Kershaw isn't making his last few starts. I'm not crying. You are. Look, from what I heard... I think every year you have to realize it's on a year-to-year basis. Every start is touch and go with Clayton Kershaw. And I'll tell you what I know, and that is that Kershaw's not going to accept anything less than being a frontline starter. He's not going to accept the role as a number 4 or 5 starter. He doesn't want to go out there if he's a shell of himself. And if he's throwing 88 and that shoulder's hurting him and he's not able to be anywhere close to the pitcher he's been, even as he's continued to reinvent himself, I think he will hang them up. I truly believe that. I don't think you're going to see him sign some sort of multi-year deal with another team. I can tell you the Rangers have offered him a ton of money to pitch for Texas, and he said no. But I think it all depends on how he's feeling. If he's healthy, he can throw 91, 92 and be himself. I think he will play another year. I truly believe that, but I don't think that he's going to come back if he's going to be limited or diminished in a big capacity. But you're talking about someone who lowest ERA in the modern era, someone who has nothing to prove as a Dodger. So yeah, I don't think I highly doubt that that we can have a realistic conversation about that until we see how he bounces back with his arm in the last couple of thanks, I got Jams. Appreciate you. Since in the last couple of weeks here, so it'll be very interesting. But hey, cherish every start. Even if he does come back, cherish every start, right? Because hey, this is someone 16 years, no major surgeries, right? No, I'm not even going to say it. I don't want to put that in the ether, right? But he has had no major surgeries in 16 years, and yeah, I mean, in this era where surgeries and TJs have gone through the roof, it's rare. But we got. I was at that game, D-Mac. D-Mac, I think that's look. You got to play who you got to play. D-Mac says, do you want the first seed or the second seed for the NL? I think personally that home field advantage we saw in 2021 against that Braves team, the Dodgers were the better team in that series. The Dodgers could have won both of those games on the road and gone up 2-0 heading back to LA. Instead, they went back to LA down 0-2. They won game 3 because of that miraculous home run by Cody Bellinger. And then they lost game 4 and they won game 5. And then they lost game 6. So I think home field advantage matters. I think in that series. It definitely, the stats will show you that home field advantage matters less than baseball than it does in any other major sports. And just look at the way that the Braves and the Dodgers have matched up this year. Dodgers, they took 2 of 3 from Atlanta in Atlanta. This year, the Dodgers, they did not have a good stretch against the Braves at their house. So I think it really just kind of all depends on the kind of the matchups. But I think matchup wise, look, if you play the Brewers, right? If you play that Brewers team, that's going to be interesting because, hey, the Brewers are a team that is front-loaded with starters. And in a short series, if you have a top-heavy rotation, that's absolutely going to help your case there. But here we go. We got surgery tomorrow morning. We'll recover faster watching the Dodgers and D-Mac. Kenneth, surgery, hey. Rest up, man. We'll all be thinking of you, man. You're gonna be great, man. So definitely have a successful surgery, and we'll be happy to have you back on the show. So definitely tune in for sure. Carl, MVP of the World Series is more important, 100%. I agree with you there. I think that's the focus of this team. But yeah, kind of because to kind of wrap up this game, Dodgers, they get the dub. Brusdar, Graterol, like I said, special night. He finally pitched in front of his mom at the big league level for the first time ever. Of course, his mom lives in Venezuela, but she was there. She was in attendance. You had that moment. You saw the emotion. And, yeah, I mean, Freddie Freeman, like, what more can you say about the guy? Almost the first player in a century, 93 years, to reach 60 doubles in a season. And he had his 56th double of the year tonight. 56 doubles. So that came against Miguel Diaz. So that takes his doubles numbers against right-handers to 36. So 36 doubles against right-handers. That leads all of the National League. It only trails former Dodger Corey Seager, who has 41. So, yeah, tomorrow you got Reese Olson going up against Bobby Miller, a 7-10 start. Tonight, Vesia, he gets the win. He won an inning with a strikeout. He had home runs by J.D. Martinez and Spencer Torkelson, both 29 of the year. But big win for your Dodgers. Great night at Dodger Stadium. Another walk-off. But that's going to do it for this episode of the Dodgers Nation post-game show. My name is Doug McCain. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at DMAC_LA. And if you have not yet, be sure to subscribe to the Dodgers Nation YouTube channel. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that notification bell. And if you want to see us post even more Dodgers content, smash that like button. A couple more comments here at the very end. And sorry, I got like a hiccups all of a sudden. I don't know what I ate earlier. I'm telling you. It was a carne asada burrito, but it was fantastic, by the way. But a couple more here, and I'll let you guys out. Thanks, James. Ray Brios, that one. He probably at work right now on that side of the world. Sean McVay talks a million miles an hour. I like how we got Rams takes in here. Akers and, wow, a lot of Rams takes here. Aaron Donald's the Raiders, week 5. Mr. Seabat, Dodgers were leaking oil in 2021, and we're not going anywhere after drowning the Giants. Mr. Seabat, yeah, I think we'll bring that up another show. And they were leaking oil. I mean, they had that check engine light on with Max Scherzer, who had the dead arm. With Walker Buehler going on short rest, he clearly wasn't himself. Julio Urias, I think he was compromised coming out of the bullpen there in the first part of that series. So, yeah, I agree with you 100%. I definitely think that team, you had Pujols, there were Bobby McKinney. You had just, Mookie didn't have a good series. It just wasn't a great series. But, yeah, a couple more here, guys. Cubs playing Phillies in the playoffs. Roy Estrada, my fantasy football season is already over. Hey, make some trades. Thanks, Anthony. Appreciate you. Great show. Thanks. We got P Blue. Boomer Assassin. I ever tell you how much that makes me laugh, but it really does for some reason, okay? Roy Estrada, thanks, D-Mac. Hey, Dumb and Dumbers are my favorite movie, so that type of humor is all cool with me. D-Mac needs a shoe to clear his throat. Gotta finish him and give you a bruh. D-Mac, my wife said she really wants to smash the like button. Mitchell Hopkins, you're getting a bruh on the way out. But thanks again, guys. As always, see you later, Craig. See you later, Carl. See you later, Justin. And if you haven't yet, be sure to subscribe to the channel. My name is Doug McCain. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at DMAC_LA. Nothing brings us together quite like Dodger baseball. And until next time, think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out.